All right, we are live. Yeah, so I don't know that we have quorum here. We've only got a few participants. I think the time change took people by surprise. So the on the agenda, issue number 211, the Diagnostics Best Practices Guide. I think we were just saying that trying to get a time schedule where people can talk about that. Gary's tried to do that last week. And I didn't get a lot of response. So last week was a holiday week in the US, so we should probably try that again. We should do that. I don't think there's any update on the deep dive stuff that we've had standing on the agenda. I don't know if there's any update on expectation about tier support from diagnostic tools and VMs. And I think, Michael, you'd be the one to provide the most detail on that.
Sorry, I was just distracted for a second. Can you just repeat that for one?
Sorry, is there any update? Do we have anything to discuss about
on the tiers?
Yeah.
No, there's nothing on that update. Sorry.
Async hooks, the stable API tracking issue number 124. Matteo, I don't know if you've got any update. I know that your PR.
Yes, just give me 1 second. Sorry, I was opening in a car. Yes, there is some updates. I think there is Matthias working on the current resource API.
Okay, interesting.
There is some, he got some progress done. There is some discussion open on the fix that I thought landed, removed the leak on my implementation. However, the problem is still there, just more hidden. So there is still some need to refactor our internals so that HTTP parser do not have the async resource of HTTP parser is not reused. There is some consensus on the issue that this could be done via just by using the HTTP incoming class instead. So instead of the HTTP parser, and that will fix all of things. So it seems we have a way forward in that regard. And I don't know if there are any questions. We should probably ask Matthias. Really, he's mainly the person driving this at this point in time. I was just keeping tabs on the issues. That's it.
Okay. Okay. So async context formalization, diagnostic support. There's been a call that we've had scheduled with the V8 team to talk about sort of where this stuff fits conceptually and start talking about, does this kind of make sense? Do you see any things that would block this at a spec level, and start trying to get to some more detailed text. And I was asked to either write an explainer or start writing spec text. I want to avoid writing the spec text as much as possible. And I need to start writing some of this explainer stuff. And I'm trying to find the time to do that, but I will share. That would probably get PR'd into the diagnostics repo. I have another PR of a README from earlier this year. Some of the concepts, I think we've been able to simplify some things. So I need to go back and see if that doc serves a purpose or not.
So we actually had discussions internally about this, and the question from our language folks was mostly like, how does this affect JavaScript? Like, what are the consequences of having this formalization? And so naturally, the question came up, like, how does it relate to the JavaScript specification, which is like how this question came to be.
Okay. Yeah, and that was sort of like when we were talking with like our TC39 rep Kevin Smith about some of this stuff. He had similar questions, which is like, well, if I'm a JavaScript programmer, what actually gets exposed to me? How is anything different?
Exactly. Yep.
And so I think that is an open question. I think there's some specific areas, I think, in the spec where I'm probably able to point at it and be like, this stuff we need updates here, we need updates here. As to actually what that text is, I don't know that I want to get to that level of detail just yet. But
yeah, that's exactly what I had in mind. Essentially, like whenever you talk about async context, you would have certain points in the spec saying, okay, here's what certain operations in the context of async context formalization would occur, and whether like whatever hooks into that is written down in the spec or outside would not matter all that much.
Yep.
It would be great to have this relation between the spec and the proposal.
Okay. Yeah, let me work on that. I want to try and keep the doc, I think, as succinct and minimal as I can, but not have it be too vague that it interferes with, it causes confusion, right? I don't know when. I'm hoping, like, I was hoping last week to do it, but I was on vacation and I ended up doing things like vacuuming out the vents in my bathroom, and, which they were super dusty, by the way.
But some things, those things are very, very, gives you a good sense of satisfaction.
It really did. I have a picture of me on a step ladder with like the vacuum and a headlamp because I had to kill the breaker because I had to like.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So in any case, my experience with working on the promise and async code base is that the whole thing is already complicated enough.
Yes.
So really, the source of truth has to be the spec.
Yeah, and I agree with that. So let me see what I can do. The goal is this week. Gang, I don't know that you were on that invite with Ali sent it.
I'm not sure I am. I don't know. I think you wanted to invite me, but I don't think I actually got any invite. When is that supposed to be?
I think it's been rescheduled twice now, and right now it's for the 6th of December at 10 p.m. Pacific time, which I think
10 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah, I don't know what that is your time. I think it's early morning on December 7th, your time.
Interesting. I don't actually see it.
Let me forward it to you, and I'll just CC Ali.
Okay.
And we do want to see if we can make some progress here, yeah. And I've been struggling with time.
Okay.
So.
All right. Thanks.
But yeah, it's good to hear that there's like general sort of consensus that the spec needs updated, and we can go from there. So, the trace event stuff, issue number 84. I don't know if there's any update there. I don't know if anybody has any update. Ali was usually the ones providing updates on that, and I don't know if he's joined us.
I don't have any real update other than when I was talking to James at NodeConf EU, he did still say that this was one of the areas of focus for him in next year. So,
okay. That was everything on the agenda.
So there's one more thing I want to at least mention, which is the next Diagnostics Summit. There was a request on whether we could move it a week later.
What is the current date for it?
The current date is the 7th and 8th of March.
Okay.
And the question was whether we could move it a week later because the Monday after is in Munich. There's this JS Congress, which is a medium-sized conference on JavaScript. I tried to do that, ask around whether it was possible, but the venue I booked is already reserved for those dates.
Okay.
So I guess the dates of 7th and 8th are final.
Okay.
And yeah, everyone is invited.
Excellent. So we should probably start talking about the agenda for that after the new year, I would guess.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Yeah, as soon as the new year hits, I'm planning to request my travel approval. So,
okay.
Hoping Q1 is better than Q4.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. We tend to have sort of strict travel budgets that preclude international travel, but I'm pulling some strings, and I don't know how far I'll be able to pull those.
Sorry, there should be funding available from the travel fund.
Right. That too.
Right.
Yeah, I haven't used that. I feel kind of cheap, but maybe I should.
If that's the only thing that's blocking, I would recommend going that route.
Okay, I'll consider it. I'll let people know, and I'll consider it.
It's it's there for a reason, so we might as well use it.
Okay.
And it seems that meeting up with all the other people, I will definitely be there anyway. So.
Yeah, I think the last summit was definitely a very useful event.
So at the last summit, a lot of people came with the travel fund. Like I think Joey came with the travel fund, if I remember correctly, and also a lot of other folks.
Okay, I will let people know that I'll plan on going, irrespective of whether I get some Microsoft money or not.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see how good we can be on the travel fund. Like if somebody can, be on company resources, but if they can't, they can't. So it's better. Like if that is the only issue, I prefer you come with the travel budget, with the travel fund.
Okay.
I think that would be the best, kind of the best case scenario. So it should be fine. Like if that's the only problem. If there are other issues, that's another completely different discussion. But if the issue is only budget, like let's go with the travel fund.
Okay. I'll block. I mean, at this point, my calendar is clear for those days. So
yeah.
I will try and block it out and try and close some things up here on my end. There was another issue that somebody on the Visual Studio Code team pinged me about an issue with dynamically loading files and source maps and changes to the debug protocol to support some of this stuff in Node. And I was going to tag his issue for with the Diag agenda, just so we can start pulsing on it. But I don't have permissions actually in the Node repository to tag the thing. So if somebody could do that for me, it's issue 24687. I don't know if someone paste it here. There's a link. And I don't know if this touches into V8. Like somebody commented, Alexi, I think, commented that the protocol changes might have to touch into V8 to support this. It wasn't clear to me why that was the case. But I haven't fully, I don't think I fully grokked where the seams are.
Yeah, I haven't actually read this at all. I wasn't aware of this. I'll take a look.
Okay. Yeah, if you could tag it with the agenda, I think that'd be great, and we'll just keep an eye on it. I promised Rob, who opened the issue, that I'd sort of try and make the right connections between him and people inside of Node, and potentially in V8 to sort of help him out and understand the right thing to happen here. So,
related to the inspector protocol, there is a long-standing issue of adding network tracking support to that, to like the DevTools, the inspector in Chrome, the inspecting Chrome, and we might, considering that we don't have much time, we might be asking for volunteers in a more public way to do that work. It's a significant chunk of work and requires different broad skill set. So
isn't there there's an existing network domain in the protocol, and the work there would basically,
it's you may want to.
Sorry, what's that?
I think so. The work there will be creating a new category of stuff in Node, and
you dropped off there, Matteo.
Sorry, there is an issue open in the diagnostic repo.
Okay.
It has been there. It has been open there since some very long time. You can find it out easily. Like, it's network tracking and stuff. It's about network tracking, and I am on mobile, unfortunately, on a highway.
Okay.
So connection is a little bit sketchy from my side.
Does that need to be tagged with the agenda so that we can just start?
Yeah, I think we should start tagging it with the agenda and seeing if there is. We can look for some volunteers in a more public fashion. Like, it's a big feature for Node, but I think it will be very good. And if there is somebody that is willing to put in the work, or big company wants to help out and invest in that part, it will be great.
Okay. I'll tag it.
On the Node side, it will need to be based on async hooks. So that's, there is also that part.
So why is that?
Because you need to track, like, when you need to do what an APM does, which basically tracking any outgoing HTTP and incoming and outgoing HTTP connection. So the only way to do that is async hooks based.
Okay. Okay. That's, I think, everything on the agenda. I don't know if anyone has anything else. I don't know if we want to wait for a few minutes. People are going to start trickling in here because it's 10. And I anticipate, because I was totally, like, if I hadn't been looking at my email precisely when I got the notification from Yang that, hey, why isn't this happening now? I would have completely missed this. So,
I actually need to drop. So
okay.
I say goodbye.
Bye, Matteo.
Let's talk. Let's talk again soon. Yang, you might want to, like we might want to drive something, crafting an agenda for the next diagnostic summit, checking with who wants to come and so on and so forth.
Yep. I'll do that.
Great.
Perfect. Bye-bye.
Yep. Yeah, I gotta drop off too, and I'm gonna miss, I think, the next meeting because it's 2 weeks from now, right?
It is.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Matteo. Yeah. So what does that mean? 2 weeks from now is it like the 14th or the 13th?
Yeah, that would be about right.
And then I was thinking we would just cancel the one following that, which would be the 7th, because that's like holidays and.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll miss that one too. So.
Okay.
And then it's the 9th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll do the next one, and then the 9th will be one after that. All right.
Yeah, I'll be around in between, but in terms of meetings, I won't see you guys until the new year.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. All right.
Okay.
That's it.
Thanks.
Anybody who joins late just misses the party. So.
Talk to you all later.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Okay. Bye.